Greenfield Dock. It's hard to imagine that this picturesque and sleepy harbour had a more lurid past, shipping locally produced copper manillas to Liverpool to be traded for slaves in Africa, and bringing back slave-produced cotton to supply the Greenfield mills. Later uses were more benevolent. Ferry services were introduced in the early 1800s. Passengers included pilgrims from Liverpool and Lancashire seeking cures or spiritual salvation at St Winifred's Well in Holywell. The dock continues to be used by local fishermen who worked with the coastal rangers to get the dock restored and reopened in 2010.
My name's Di Hutton and I've fished on the river here for many years. I've seen a lot of changes during that time. If you'd have been standing here 50 years ago, what would you have seen? Well, Courtaulds Rayon Factory, the largest rayon factory in the world at that time, to your right. There was a paper mill in Greenfield behind you, and down to the left, downstream, there was Moston Ironworks. And the waste, the majority of the waste from all these places, found its way to the river. If you were fishing here then, you'd be catching flounders, or flukes as they're known locally, and eels, that's if you were bait fishing, and flounders and salmon if you were netting. The flounders then often had open sores on their body. They were cockles, but in 1963 we had a very hard winter and all the cockles were killed off in the big freeze. By 1979 the cockles were again plentiful and we started gathering them on the Moston bank. The market for cockles was very poor at this time. We were paid £2.50 a hundredweight, that's 50 kilos in today's terms. It was back-breaking work, trying to collect 10 to 15 hundredweight a day, which we needed to do to earn a living. We could never have dreamt that one day gatherers would be paid £100 for that same hundredweight. There's a quota on cockles now, and men are only allowed to gather 300 kilos a day. That's 600 weights in the old weight. I often think I was born too soon. The river, well, it's the same colour as it always was, but now it's clean. The Environment Agency keep a very close eye on the waste going into the river nowadays. If you fish here now, you'll have a chance of catching plaice, flounders, soles, whiting, codling, bass and mullet. We even have rays and turbot further down the river. No one alive today remembers the fishing like it is now. It's wonderful. There are plenty of cockles and mussels in the river, and we have 50 licensed men making a living gathering them. Many of them landing their catch in this dock here during the summer months. You may see boats out netting. The fishing methods they use have not changed for centuries. The salmon are not returning like they used to, and nobody knows why for sure, and that's why salmon netting isn't allowed on the river anymore. The fishermen you see are using tremble nets to catch flatfish that drift along the bottom, and the meshes are big enough to let the smaller fish through. Salmon swim close to the surface, so there's not much chance of them getting caught. Fishermen using nets are not allowed to catch bass higher up the river than Moston. We were granted the right to fish under Magna Carta. We don't own these rights, we're only custodians of them for future generations. It would be a great loss for us if we were ever to lose them. There's some comfort in knowing that whatever happens, we wouldn't starve.